I am Jessica Delmar, and this channel is all about the vibrational resonance to the frequency of oneness. Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. In this video, we are going to be continuing from our last video where that galactic soul came through the lesion and bring through the rest of the information of her story, although there was more of a masculine energetic feel from that galactic soul. So if you haven't yet watched part 1 of this galactic soul story, be sure to watch that video as well as our previous videos from this year 2020, especially the creation energy videos, part 1 and part 2, and the video that we did about the happy face spider message, as well as February's ascension energy video. I'll put all of those links below because in this video it's kind of piggybacking off of everything. Everything's kind of coming together regarding us as individuals being these wormholes, especially for light workers, as well as the power of nature and where we're moving in 5D and being able to view nature and our realities differently, viewing them from a higher vibrational, higher frequency perspective that wasn't necessarily easily available in the lower vibrations and frequencies upon Gaia in 3D. So this information very much allows us to open up our perspective even more, open up our heart, open up our mind to really integrate these new activations that are spinning us into higher layers of consciousness and vibrational realities. Because what's coming through is that as we move into this sort of new frontier that we're moving in as 5D'ers, new earthers, especially light workers who are able to vibrationally get themselves in those places, this is new. This is a leading edge creation for us. And so a lot of the blueprints and guidance is coming through our divine inner being, your connection to that source within. And this connects you to other aspects of you, such as the blueprints from ancient Egypt. It connects you to your galactic families, which bring through higher vibrational blueprints as well. It connects you to future aspects of yourself, which bring through information and knowledge as well. It connects you to New Earth 5D, which helps you navigate your path a little bit more, because the path that we're on in terms of the ascension is and can be a very lonely path, because not a lot of people have been here. It's like we're moving through a fog. You can't necessarily see the next steps in front of you. And it requires a lot of your trust. It requires a lot of blind faith in your connection to your divine inner being and that inner voice that you have, which is constantly telling you where you should go next. Your intuition. Feel into those next steps by being where you are in your now moment and trusting in your now moment and allowing for the unfolding. And so this information is coming through my own divine inner being and that connection within me, and I'm sharing it for other people to hold as a blueprint within you if it resonates with you. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, and that's fine too. But having these stories come through help us to connect to that seed, that source seed within, to remind us who we truly are as powerful creator beings. And as powerful creator beings, we are creating what's next off of that leading edge. And so this galactic soul that is sharing its message and story is just kind of helping us to see something that could be, helping us open up our minds and our hearts to receive an openness that is part of the vast frontier that we're stepping into. This came through in writing first, so I'm just going to read this part 2 of this galactic soul message. If you want to read along with me, I have opened up a membership on my site where you can have access to all of the written transmissions, which really will help you to dive deeper into your mind-soul activation, applying this to your own individual realities and your lives, and connecting with others on similar journeys. If you'd like to join the members over on my website, I'll put the link to that below. So this is part 2. You are a wormhole. This information came through much like a QHHT, a quantum healing hypnosis, or BQH, Beyond Quantum Healing hypnosis session, where, I started as a practitioner, and that helped me to dive deeper into opening up my consciousness and connecting to other energies in this way. So it brings through this information as if I'm visually kind of being there and seeing it and bringing through this information as this galactic soul. So in the last video, we spoke about how this galactic being, the Lasian, connected to the interwebs of nature upon its planet. And that opened up the Lasian's eyes, this galactic soul's eyes, to experiencing this reality that was completely different than the reality that they existed within before, because they were now vibrationally tapped into this new network of consciousness, which was seamlessly integrated within nature on that planet. And what also came through is nature basically providing these wormholes, or being wormholes through its high vibration, that connected different realities upon the planet. And so within one plane of existence or experience, such as Gaia, Earth, there can be many different realities. We already know that based upon vibration. Someone in a low vibration is experiencing their reality very, very different from someone else who is experiencing on a higher vibrational plane of reality, but it's still the same plane, it's just different realities. And so when we look at nature, nature is experiencing on such a higher level of reality, of vibrational reality, that's not even within the range of our vibrational reality, which exists within our vibrational scale, the duality scale of high to low. But nature exists in a different vibration where we can't really see into it. But I think this information is coming through because we are beginning to reach into those places, those vibrations, where we can easily look into and see into those realities that nature exists within, which again is very different from our realities. So I'm just going to read the last paragraph of the last video and then continue. In my awe of the reality of nature, I was able to energetically bridge 2 layers of reality, 2 worlds really, that existed within the same plane, but completely different realities. My ability to bridge these 2 realities, or worlds really, affected the way that the planet existed, meaning that I became a portal or an open doorway between the 2 realities. Even though the 2 realities existed in different vibrational frequencies on the same planet, I was a doorway, or rather a wormhole, that connected the 2. My vibrational frequency was warped. I held vibrational frequency in 2 different realities. I could not fully transition into the reality of nature because the energetic vibration of my physical body and being kept me in my original reality as well. The vibrational reality of nature and the greater interconnections, or that interconnected web of the planet, are kept under lock and key. It is similar to having the many different levels of the elevator, but the levels that nature exists on are in the penthouse and beyond. You need a special key to get there, and it's not easy. As a being, especially a human on Earth, you were born into specific vibrational frequencies. There is a reason why you do not naturally know or experience the vibrational frequency or reality lens of nature. There is a reason why plants have roots, and it is to keep them grounded in place. Their vibration is much too high, and if they did not have the grounding physical roots, they would simply cease to exist in your physical vibrational reality. My story of experiencing or existing within two different realities on the same plane of existence is for you to understand what you are going through on your planet with the 3D and 5D shifts. There are two different lenses that people are experiencing and viewing through, and for those of you who have energy or vibration in both realities, 3D and 5D, you act as a doorway or a wormhole between the two. A physical being as a doorway or a wormhole is quite complicated. For me, I did not exist within a duality-based experience like you humans on Earth. The two different realities that I existed within, the original one and the heightened nature reality, were quite similar as I lived in the middle of a very remote forest. It was just like taking 3D glasses on and off. One was just more heightened and more robust than the other. However, in the experience that you are going through on Earth and the shift between 3D and 5D, it is much, much different on both sides. It is not just like taking 3D glasses on and off, but it's an entire consciousness shift, and mind shift, and energy shift, and emotional shift, and physical shift, and senses shift. And so for those of you who act as wormholes between the two realities, you lightworkers, it is definitely not an easy place to be. I'd like to give some advice for those of you who act as these lightworker wormholes between the two realities of 3D and 5D. First, you must know that your decision to act as these wormholes between the two realities is a conscious decision by your soul, decided upon pre-birth. Serving as a wormhole between these two realities can get very, very sticky, especially the further apart that they pull from one another. It is much like doing the splits, and the split is getting much, much, much wider. It is physically, energetically, mentally, and emotionally draining. I can sense the energy in the lightworker wormholes. And there have been many who have chosen not to hold the space of the wormhole because it is much easier to fall back into 3D consciousness. Being a lightworker wormhole is like a balancing act, like walking a tightrope across two tall buildings. The act of keeping yourself balanced and suspended on that tightrope is your journey and faith of 5D. But sometimes for many, it becomes too much, and falling is just the easiest, less taxing path. Lightworkers who fall back into 3D is not like falling back into old patterns and pretending like you were never on an ascension path to begin with, but rather falling back into 3D from a lightworker perspective is a form of consciousness that is sort of suspended, if you will, between the two. It's suspended between 3D consciousness and 5D consciousness, not suspended in 4D consciousness, but rather suspended in the cosmic wormhole that you yourself are. Meaning that there becomes a sort of distortion, if you will, in your consciousness field, because going back or turning around from the powerful path that you were on of ascension is like turning around into a foggy mist. It is very distorting. I also mentioned earlier in the video that moving into 5D is much like you're walking through a foggy mist. You can't see the next steps in front of you. Because we're on the leading edge. But this is kind of like two different things. Walking forward into a foggy mist, but holding that blind faith and holding this space of trust and connection to your divine inner being is moving forward, empowered, and knowing who you truly are. When you turn around into the foggy mist of falling back into 3D, then that sort of connection dissipates, if you will, and it becomes wobbly. So you're not as firm in your moving forward. And it's almost like if you were, for example, in a foggy mist and you're fine and you're making your way through, versus then becoming panicked and turning around and then trying to figure out your way through. There's two different energies there. And so this energy, in terms of this explanation, was sort of that kind of, okay, let's go back, based upon that fear and the wobbly energy and the unsteady energy of moving back through that foggy mist, if that makes sense. There is nothing wrong with the path that they have chosen in terms of those lightworkers who have so-called turned around, but I am simply addressing some of the energy shifts upon which I view the lightworkers of your collective. So for those of you walking this tightrope, know that your perseverance and determination to get to the other side will make your reward so much sweeter. Know that it is okay to fall back and rest and allow others to hold space and strength for you when you need it most. It does not mean that you are turning around. Your journey is only as strong as you are, and your ability to affect others will only be as strong as you are. The most important role of you lightworker wormholes are to act and serve as bridges between 3D and 5D. Because the split between 3D and 5D is getting much, much wider, those who are unaware in 3D will find it much, much harder to awaken into the truth and energy of 5D. Someone in 3D will seem like they exist on a whole other planet than someone who holds 5D perception and vibration. Lightworker wormholes are those who will bridge the gap for those who are hardest to reach. You are the lifeline for those who may not even realize they need it. You bridge the gap simply through your vibration. Your vibration opens into your energy field, which opens portals, much like how there are many, many portals all around Earth Gaia and all around your realities. You open up portals in your energy field, and those portals embrace those in 3D who you come into contact with and swallow them up whole. Much like how my surrogate mother tree, who gave me new life, opened up a portal for me to enter into the interconnected web of nature's consciousness. We spoke about that in part 1 of this video. The people who you affect, of course, will not realize that they are being swallowed up whole by an invisible portal that you have called forth for them. But what that portal does is it transports the person's vibration into a field of energy that is sort of like a waiting room, is what came through. This waiting room opens space in the person's energetic field, which allows for an energy transfer of some sort. I was having a vision at this time like blood transfusion, someone receiving new blood, if you will, or filtering out their blood. This allows for the person's old energy to get pumped out and new energy to get pumped in, and will often lead to very unexpected shifts to their realities. This can be a new outlook, a desire for a new job, a different feeling towards a person that they used to dislike, a desire to eat better, a desire to go out and be adventurous all of a sudden, or have more fun, or be creative in new ways that they weren't, etc., etc., etc. These changes will not all happen overnight, but it will slowly start to incorporate and integrate within the person's being as their new energy field circulates through and around them. And then, of course, what's coming through is it's really up to that person to receive that energetic transfusion, if you will, because if they kind of fall back into old ways, or if they allow lower vibrational energy to kind of outweigh this new energy that's being infused within them, then although there are going to be steps moving forward to integrate this new energy, the process is going to take a little bit longer. But everyone's on their own journey, and there's not a right journey, there's not a wrong journey. Everything for everyone is in perfect timing. This sort of energetic transfusion is what is happening within many partnerships and relationships and families. If there is one enlightened or awakened member of the family, you serve as the energy transfer station for others closest to you. It really is a beautiful thing to see. And then this kind of brought me up into the perspective of this galactic being viewing all of these energetic transfusions that are happening on the planet right now, and it really was a very beautiful thing. The colors of people's energy fields change. They become brighter, more lighter, clearer, more vibrant, and stronger as this energetic transfusion, that blood transfusion vision that I had of people's energy fields, allow for the clearing of old energy and the integration and circulation of new energy. On the physical surface, you may not notice these changes in the people that you are helping, but for many of these people who are receiving your light, it often starts with a spark or shift in the heart. It is up to the person to follow that shift of the heart and make it stronger than the old programs that may still exist in the mind. For many, they will follow the call because it will become much too strong to ignore. For others, the change of outlook, the change in the heart, will be much too much and will cause severe distortion in their realities because of the push and pull and the resistance to the change that is desiring to open within. It is much like they are trying to keep a door closed that is bursting at the seams with something much stronger on the other side. And so the message that I offer today is one of hope. I wish to bring ease to people's minds who may not see any physical manifestation or change that is happening, but many are watching the energetic ripples in the non-physical, that which you cannot see with your physical eyes. I served as a bridge between my original reality and my new heightened reality of nature when I existed upon my planet. And what I was able to do as that bridge was bring energy of the heightened reality of nature into the vibrational reality of my original reality, so that as I opened energy of my heightened reality into my old reality, it transformed my old reality into my heightened reality, and I was fully able to exist in the heightened reality, coexisting and co-creating with nature without stretching my energy back and forth, meaning that split or the tightrope energy. You will not be serving as a wormhole forever, but your energy will begin to balance out the more you pour 5D energy into the 3D space and people that you coexist and co-create with. Eventually, enough energy will pour forth that you will just simply exist in the balanced energy of a higher vibration, and so will all that you have helped. Stay strong and persevere with truth, love, hope, and faith. We love you and stand by you in strength. And this message from the Lasian is complete. Thank you very much to this galactic soul for bringing this very valuable and very powerful message through, activating a lot of things within all of us, especially all of you who serve as wormholes between 3D and 5D. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Together with you in oneness, I am Jessica Delmar. Oneness and love be with you.